And those are about $150 a pop, which is cool.
Not bad.
No.
Tell me something, girl.
God, because I am fucking dream world.
Are you happy in this modern world?
Welcome to Love and Then What? Love and Then What? Welcome, lovers and friends. I, of course, am your boy, Mr. Everybody, and I am joined today by Kyle Maack, a singer, songwriter, and host of Try Jam Podcast. How you doing, sir?
Your spoken intro after the theme music is a little sullen after all that craziness I just listened to. How you doing, man?
Your eyes were going crazy as you were listening to the
I thought it was a magnificent grouping of sounds.
cacophony of fuckery, and it was
Right.
Yeah, it was. So the idea was basically to have like the duality of love, where the love and the hate kind of go side by side. So it was created in one night where I was just like, let's fucking throw a bunch of things together.
Right, and then you came in like an NPR host.
Did I have the quiet voice? You have a different radio voice.
Love in
Then What
podcast.
I'm not drunk enough yet. I got to drink some more.
Oh. My tolerance is really, really low. I've only had about half of this can of. Are they sponsors?
Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey should be a sponsor. They're not a sponsor, but they can sponsor me.
I wasn't going to give them the benefit.
I always say should be a sponsor in case one day Jack Daniel himself is watching, and then he can just say,
"Is Jack Daniel still alive?"
In our hearts, he is. in all of the 40 men or 40 and older men that are divorced that are drinking Jack Daniels right now watching.
Are you 40 and older?
I look 40 and older, don't I?
Oh, I was gonna say, no, you don't though.
No, how old do I look?
I would say at least 39.
At least.
I'm just kidding.
I don't feel bad at all.
At least 39. There's that 12-month period between the beginning of 39 and the end of 39.
Yeah.
That's that little niche that you live in.
I live in that sweet spot.
I'm kidding. No, to be honest, I think you look more like 34, 35.
Okay, I'm 31, so I'm going to go kill myself later, but it's not a big deal.
I'm so sorry.
So if you guys don't know, I talked about Kyle, and I was just on the show, actually, Try Jam Podcast. Mm-hmm. But I spoke about him on a previous episode with Stormy and Lou.
Right.
And I said Kyle pulls off my look better than I pull off my look, being the attributes.
And then you came on my show and said I was catfishing you the entire time.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit with the catfishing.
How was I catfishing you?
I feel like there were some filters.
No, there's definitely filters.
And then you put up the blues more. Like, you really, like, pop those blues.
Well, so I'll say that for a pale person...
Yeah.
The increase in vibrancy in a photo is a pale person's best friend. So it's a difference between looking like powder and maybe Julio Iglesias.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yesterday, me and my girl were out in Philly, right? We were at a Pride Festival, by the way, for Come Alive 215. You'll see that episode later. Anyway, we sat down at a bar in Philly. Two bald guys next to me. I said, oh, no. When you sit down next to a bald guy, they normally want to bring it up, especially when they're drinking.
Right. Were you wearing your hat?
No.
Okay.
No hat. Obviously, the beard. They didn't have a beard, so you know they're going to say right away.
Oh, they're all penis heads.
Yeah. They're like, oh, bro, bald guys, bro, you want to do an Irish car bomb? I'm like, bro, I'm 31. Like, I don't want to do it. I'm here with my girl. Like, I don't want to do an Irish car bomb. And
I was trying to remember what that is. That's when you drop the shot.
I think it's Jameson or no. It's like
Bailey's.
It's a liquor. Yeah, Bailey's goes into Guinness.
Okay. Yeah,
I used to do these a lot, like 18, 19, 20 years old.
I haven't had one in like 5 years. Mm-hmm. It was delicious, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I liked it. I lived in Germany, military, just like you.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that?
No, you didn't ask.
Show?
I normally don't say it a lot, but I only said it because you're here and you were Air Force too.
Okay.
You were Hickam. You moved a lot more than me because we'll get into Tops and Blues later.
Okay,
but
yeah.
That cheesy place. But anyway,
you only share the same sentiment as the rest of the Air Force.
So the reason I brought up the Philly bar situation was I had my beard, and bald guys always look better with beards.
Okay.
Was there a time in your life where you did not have the beard, and then you grew the beard and realized that, obviously you were in the military, you didn't have a beard?
Right. When I was in high school, I tried my hardest. I would consider the beard I had in high school more desperation than anything that was real. And of course, when I was in the military, I couldn't have one. Although there was a period where I actually had a shaving waiver.
That's only for black guys. That's strictly for...
As my first sergeant told me, almost verbatim, it was, yes. No, he was like, are you the only white guy I know with the shaving
just
waiver?
so you know, this isn't racist. Ask any black guy in the military. This is, my buddy called it his reparations. They got their reparations. They got paid for life. And then you get paid after you left the military for a shaving waiver. Black guy, a shaving waiver, if you don't know, is you don't have to shave anymore, which means you look better than everybody else in the military.
Right. Well, the shaving, you couldn't shave to a point. I think you were only allowed to have 1/4 of an inch worth of hair growth on your face.
Yeah.
And you had to maintain a trim at that length if you were going to grow it out at all. It couldn't be any longer than that. It could be shorter than that. But yes, it was an excuse for people to grow fashionable beards. And people who were getting away with having a shaving waiver. And I was very problematic with this, especially with my flight chief. He used to get on me for having a shaving waiver and then coming in with like a goatee, like shave sides.
Yeah, you shave the sides. Yeah. You're not supposed to, if you don't know, you're not supposed to shave any part of your face.
Not at all.
Because apparently it gives you razor bumps, so you can't, because it's like detrimental to your face or whatever it is.
Right.
But yeah, black guys just got it all the time. Like if you're a black guy, you just went and you asked the doctor, you got a shaving waiver.
Well, I think also, the facial hair of black men is much more coarse and, of course, a lot more curly, so it can grow back in under the skin, which you'd see a lot of dudes with, like, bumps on their face because of the constant daily shaving, and that's why they would ask for shaving waivers.
Now you are under oath here, sir.
Yes.
Did you actually need a shaving waiver, or you just wanted to have more pussy? Because everyone knows men with beards get more pussy.
You're right. It was a combination of the two. I wanted, because I was sorry, Air Force. I was a guy, during the day, I was an aircraft mechanic in the Air Force. And then at night, I was singing in bands in all the local clubs in Hickam, Hawaii. And being a white dude singing in an R&B band and stuff like that, you're a big fish in a small pond. And I just wanted to intensify that look. But also at the same time, my skin is incredibly sensitive. So aside from the aesthetics, the constant shaving of the beard would also cause me to break out. Not as prevalent as maybe, a black man with coarse hair growing in back under his skin, but it was sensitive skin. You put razor blades to your face every day. It's not good.
Yeah, it's terrible. That was one of the main reasons I left the military. I was like, I look shitty with a bald face. I look really bad. Even when I was really skinny, I still look bad.
Did you have to explain to anyone why you were separating? And did you say it was because, man, I just don't like how I look without a beard or anything?
I was sick of it. I wanted to get out and start a family.
Right.
Got married, didn't work out, so there was no real reason for that.
Hence the podcast.
That's why you're here hearing two white guys talk about black guys with beards in the military.
Right.
Somehow. So, do you prefer to sing your own songs when you're out performing or to sing others?
Well, there was a time period. Oh, wow, this is good, by the way.
Yeah, High Noon should be a sponsor.
Yes. There was a time period where I was very much like that, where wanting to sing my own original music. One of the big contributor for me leaving the Air Force was because I had a recording contract offer, which I signed, and then 4 months after I actually it was a contract I signed a year before getting out, and then 4 months after getting out, I was dropped.
So were you telling everyone, like, I'm going to be a star? Look out for Kyle Maack.
Pretty much, I was real looking forward, and it was with my heroes. The owner of the label, his name was Otis Williams of the Temptations. He's still alive. He's still kicking. He's like 81 almost.
Any malice towards this man? Yeah, don't lie. Yep.
Okay, so
I don't like him. No, I'll go at him for you.
It took some time for me to realize what exactly it all was, and Otis is a product. We're about to get really old on your listeners, I guess. But if anyone is familiar with Motown, it is an old school, at least the mentality of the old school Detroit Motown label business mindset. It makes a lot of sense. And Otis is a student of all that. And also, he was very busy. That's what he says. He was very busy.
He didn't have time for white boys, what he was saying.
He didn't have time to promote his new musical and promote the new album that the Temptations just had put out. and also give me enough attention. And even though it was a label, it was Otis and his money and how much time he had to devote to me, which he really didn't have that much. For that, I thank him for not wasting my time much longer after that, so I can appreciate that. Also knowing the kind of man that he is and how he was raised and what type of business. I understand where he was coming from. I don't always agree with it, but he and I have had some talks and worked out our differences, and so I'm cool now with him.
Yeah.
It was an opportunity that no one could ever take away from me. I'm still the only guy to ever do what I did with him and the Temptations, and that is enough for the boring history lesson for all of your listeners right now.
So, did you get a sign-on bonus?
What? What?
Okay, we'll go back to that and plead the fifth. Don't worry about that. So, what do you think the best performance you ever gave singing was? You talked about Hawaii. You were in Tops and Blues. You've sing
The
now.
listeners don't know what Tops and Blue is.
You want to talk about that first? What is Tops and Blue?
All right, Tops and Blue was it was the Air Force's elite entertainment touring unit. And were you in what branch of the military were you in?
Air Force.
You were in the Air Force?
We definitely have crossed paths.
Really?
I mean, I probably saw you sing. I was in from 2008 to 2014.
2014 was the year I joined Tops and Blue. What base were you at?
2014, I was in Vegas.
No, we didn't perform at McCarran. Or what was the name of the base?
No, I don't. Nellis.
Nellis, yeah. All right, we flew into McCarran, but we didn't perform at Nellis. So Tops and Blue was a touring entertainment unit that if you think of what the Thunderbirds are.
They're people who go and sing from base to base that are in the military.
Yeah, so we pretty much served the same purpose as I guess a less cool version of what the Thunderbirds were doing, which was flying fighter aircraft on beaches and stuff like that, trying to promote and entertain and boost morale for folks. For us, I think we were much more expeditionary in that we would spend a lot more time overseas in bases, in war zones. Like put in perspective, my last couple of shows with Tops and Blue was they were spent in Kuwait, Jordan, Turkey, and my Christmas shows were in Afghanistan and Bagram.
Bagram, okay, I was there 2013.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was the year the Tops and Blue didn't go. They were sequestered. The 2013 was the sequestration year. This is really not what your listeners want to hear.
No, that's what I was trying to avoid. I was like, let's get more interesting before we get to Tops and Blue. But basically, he got to go around and travel around and
So
sing a bunch of show tunes and whatever he did.
Not show tunes, but yes, we might as well have been. There was enough sequence.
So, what was the best performance you ever gave? If you think back, what's the best you ever sang? And I guess
I will say. And I hate to say this because it was 8 years ago, but the show in Bagram in Afghanistan.
Why? What did you do?
It was just the emotion that I was being given from the people in the audience and the environment that we were in on Christmas.
What song was it that really hit you?
Well, my signature song in the show was Walking in Memphis.
Okay.
You know that song at all?
No, I don't.
No?
It's a country song, yeah, I'm guessing.
It's a classic rock country-ish song.
Who's the original performer?
Mark Cohn.
I don't know it.
It's
and I do listen to country. I haven't listened in a long time. My
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane.
Oh yeah.
Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues.
Yes, I do know that song.
Yeah. So we turned that into a huge show-stopping number. It was if you can imagine that song with a bit of choreography, but with the horns blaring and people just on their feet. For me, that song resonated a lot, and just how the narrator of the song was feeling, and being able to portray those emotions to the audience there, especially in a time where folks just need a little bit of home, especially on Christmas. I think that what they gave me equated to what I gave back, and equated to probably the best performance of my life so far.
Are you saying it was emotional or it was just like
Definitely emotional, but emotionally driven to greatness. You know.
I find it interesting, Thompson Blue. This is going to be interesting, guys. I promise.
Yeah, at some point.
So this, in the military, it's driven by whoever's been in the military normally the longest, the highest rank. Mm-hmm. Was that person also the best singer, or did they kind of
no.
Did they kind of just direct people? But there was also the star. Like there's the highest ranking, but then there's the star. That could probably be a low ranking guy, maybe you, maybe somebody else, maybe a really good female singer.
I mean, I joined the Air Force in 2012, and I got the tour in 2014. There were folks who were like 15 years my senior on the tour. And they actually had more of a managerial role.
So they weren't good performers anymore?
Well, no, they were good performers. Everyone was great performers. Everyone was great at what they did. So just to be honest, it doesn't matter. The program didn't care how old you were, how much time you spent in. It just, when you spend more time and you have more of a supervision experience, so they were put into more supervisory roles. But as far as like everyone who was a supervisor was also in the show. So our first sergeant was our guitar player.
Okay.
Yeah, our captain was a member of the tech team.
See, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, captain, so high ranking. He's like an officer, so he's in charge of a lot of people.
Yes.
Did you have a tech school for this?
For Thompson Blue?
Yeah.
We had 2 months of rehearsals in San Antonio. Lackland,
yeah, that's where you always go. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the craziest performances I've ever been to, and actually my first concert was, what is the name of the band? Not Band Company. Who the fuck sing?
Bad Company.
They do sing the song, but I can't remember the name. It's a rock group, and I was in Iraq.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we weren't allowed to mosh pit, but everyone had an AR-15 on them. So we're just going, Bad Company, like mosh pitting, because you can't control it. You're in Iraq. You've been fucking in Iraq.
Right.
So, going all over the place. But that was the craziest place I've ever been.
You don't remember the name of the band at all? What kind? It was a rock band?
It was a rock band, like a heavy rock band.
And when you're mosh pitting in Iraq.
5-finger death punch.
Oh, okay, yes.
Mosh pitting in Iraq, and you have everyone has a loaded gun with them. Everyone has a loaded AR-15. Some people have M9s with them as well. And you're mosh pitting. Obviously, you shouldn't be. You're not able to drink over there, so you're not drinking.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah. But you're there are people there that have been killing people. There are people there that have lost friends. There are people there that, all these things. And then you get a band like 5-Finger Death Punch.
Right.
And it was my first live concert ever. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
Can I ask you, what Western amenities did you have at the base that you were at in Iraq? Because I know when I went to Kuwait, right outside the tents that we were staying in, there was a Charlie's cheesesteaks and a Starbucks.
Yeah, Kuwait's way different than everywhere else. So
Okay.
I was at Balad, but I was a heavy equipment operator. So
Okay.
we would convoy from place to place and go fix different bases. So if you're at a FOB or a COB, they're smaller little bases. They're kind of like outposts.
You're a better person than me.
But I still don't like talking. Like I'm not like some hardened, fucking,
Right.
I don't have no Purple Heart or anything. So a lot of people in the military are like, I don't like to talk about it because I didn't do what this person did.
I feel like if Theo was actually here, he'd be incredibly lost.
Completely lost. So this is just for white guys from the Air Force,
Right.
Which is 96% of the people
It
in the Air
is
Force.
a niche market.
We'll get to the clips. We'll talk about dicks and everything.
Yes, we'll do.
So
Dicks are coming soon.
dicks brought to you by us. Brought to you by white guys.
Dicks brought to you by white guys drinking High Noon.
Should be a sponsor.
There should be a
The Dicks and High Noons. So when we were going to like little FOBs and COBs, there weren't very many
What is
amenities.
a FOB and or COB?
Forward operating base, and I can't remember what COB is, but it's a smaller base.
No corn.
Yeah, no corn.
All right.
So they were smaller. So a FOB was a little bit bigger, but it's still like not a lot of things. Like
Okay.
a lot of times you just have MREs and that's it.
Right.
COB.
And for those civilians out there, MREs are these disgusting prepackaged meals that are vacuum sealed.
Yeah, they don't taste good at all. I'm so unpicky.
The calorie intake was insane.
Yeah, but you're burning so many calories there because it's
Right.
very hot. And I would constantly work out because you're not supposed to have sex. Some people do, some people don't.
Not supposed to have sex in Iraq?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you did. I did not. Anyway.
Well, not in Iraq. But I never went to Iraq.
So, my thing was gummy bears. When I went somewhere, that's my, we couldn't drink. I would work out a lot. But gummy bears were like my thing that I would bring with me.
Really?
It's my de-stressor. Like some people smoked. I didn't smoke.
You really didn't have a lot, did you?
No, gummies were that was my shit. That's why even still to this day, if I get really stressed out.
Can I ask, what was the access to porn like?
So you have to download it and put it on your computer already.
Oh, so you have to go, oh shit. So that means that you run the real risk of just running out of your entire spank bank, of seeing something that you've already watched a million times.
Yeah, you need that guy with the 1 terabyte that just has nonstop porn. And then you're in his room in shorts and a t-shirt and like, hey, where's your porn at, man? Let me check this out. And then you're going through his porn stash with him in the room like, is this a good porn? Like, you're like, oh, let me check this out.
Here's a good transition to the interesting. So we're talking about porn. So when I was in Turkey, I was deployed in Turkey for 4 months. Do you remember in the news this thing called it was the coup that happened in 2016?
In Turkey?
In Turkey.
No.
Okay. You know what? I'm not even going to get into that story. I'm just going to get right to the porn.
Yeah.
So Turkey has a strict no porn policy on their internet. Mm-hmm. So if we, all of us who were having like these own personal hotspots to connect our cell phones to, because our cell service didn't work out there, I actually put the chip from the hotspot into my cell phone. Mm-hmm. To get better connectivity than having to go third way from the phone to the hotspot to their internet. And VPNs were our best friend. Yeah. VPNs, you can make your internet seem like it's being reached from like Italy or England or US or something. And yes, porn was always accessible. Why don't you guys do that? I don't...
Well, Fobs and Cobbs a lot of times didn't have internet unless you went to a library and it would just be weird to do.
Did you have like hotspots at all?
I didn't pay for internet.
Okay.
I was literally strictly like I had an Was it an iPad? Yeah, iPad.
Okay.
I had an iPad that all the music was from 2006 and before. That's all I had when I was there, 2006 and before.
You and my producer Dan should be friends.
Yeah. Dan's a funny guy. Dan looks like us, but
right.
I think we pull off our attributes better, and then you pull them off better than me. But it's neither here nor there. But yeah. So I had an iPad, and I would literally work out 3 hours a day, work 12 hours, and that was my life.
Right.
I would talk on the phone maybe once or twice a day after my workout.
So what did you do for a 3-hour workout? Because I stayed skinny my entire time. I'm skinny now. For the listeners who can't see me, I am a skinny guy, and I was skinny the entire time. I worked out deployed, don't get me wrong, because there's nothing else to do.
I'm not a skinny guy anymore. I don't think I'm fat anymore. I was fat for a while. I'm not fat anymore. I'm still bigger. But I just enjoyed working out. Like I would work out for an hour, do cardio for an hour, probably an hour and a half of working out. And then there would also be PT, which is physical training, which you do with the military. So that's kind of like pussy shit, where you do like push-ups, sit-ups, and run.
You look like Bradley Cooper at the end of American Sniper. Not dead, but the...
when I first got out of the military, it was right when that movie came out.
Right.
And I was in really good shape.
Right.
I got called, what's that guy's called? His real name, the guy...
Chris Kyle?
All the time.
Really?
All the time I got called Chris Kyle. Like, you look like Chris Kyle. I'm like, all right, man. I didn't even know who it was because it just pissed me off. I was like getting called it all the time. But
right.
But yeah, now I kind of did look like Chris Kyle, and I kind of do now, I guess.
I think you still do.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Chris Kyle.
Depending on what shirt you're wearing.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Create Over Compete, Mars brand. Go to Fairy Garden Mindset. Check it out.
Is there a discount code?
I don't have a discount. You know what, Mar? I got to hit you up for that because I need a discount code because you're on all the time. And
all the time he's wearing your products. Give him a discount code.
God damn it. So what is your worst moment in music? You talked about your best one being in Afghanistan. What's the worst one?
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. My worst moment.
We get tomatoes thrown at you?
Oh, man. Okay. There's so many. So it's like I'm very self-aware. I'm not someone who's on point all the time. I think probably... Okay, so the worst, like really crazy, fearful moment for me. So it was around 2018. I had this music video / album release party. The Temptations were supposed to be there, and they came, but they came like an hour and a half late because they were all flying and they were going from the airport to our venue, and they were delayed. Mm-hmm. And so to keep the folks who had gotten there in the audience, they got there at 7. The Temps didn't get there until 9:30.
And you were waiting to perform for them.
I was waiting to perform with them in the audience, with the Temptations in the audience. So what we ended up doing was we had, thankfully, a couple of folks who were there, who were entertainment their jobs were to be either like comedians or radio personalities and stuff like that. So they actually kind of held us over for maybe like a good hour, keeping the audience from like murdering each other.
Yeah.
And all these folks really came to, I know they didn't give a shit about me. They came to see the Temptations in front of their face. So to keep these old, decrepit, almost dead people from like strangling each other from all the anxiety. Because, 9:30 is like 5 hours past all their bedtimes. And
That's past my bedtime, so
right.
yeah.
So after the comedians ran out, the radio host ran out, me and my band, we did a full set. And then after the full set was over, that's when the Temptations came in. And then I did the full set again.
So everyone left.
No, everyone didn't leave. I vocally was not where I was supposed to be.
Your voice was...
Especially at that moment, after rehearsing with the band the whole day, because the band was having some problems remembering arrangements. So singing with them, and then doing that whole set. By the time the Temptations were actually in the room, my voice was hoarse, and I was just doing what I could do to get by, and I felt completely and utterly embarrassed. And then, I guess there's also some times that's happened more recently. Now that I've kind of ditched that mindset and just started having more fun with music, I probably most definitely have had quite a few drunk performances where I just making up notes. Yeah, just making up shit, hitting a Z sharp, not even a note.
Jamie Johnson has a song about that where he talks about how he's performing. You know who Jamie Johnson is? Jamie Johnson's he's a country singer, but he's got like a old sounding voice. Really good. You ever hear the song In Color?
I know the show In Living Color.
Okay, so we can listen to him afterwards. He's kind of like a Chris Stapleton type of, Chris Stapleton.
Okay, yes.
So he's like that, but he sounds even older. He's a younger guy. He was actually in the Marines, got out, became country singer, huge country star.
There's a theme this episode.
I'm talking about. I hated the military too, so I don't even like to talk about it. So, do you forget lyrics a lot when you're on stage, or do you have like a screen in front of you?
I am like notorious for forgetting lyrics.
To like famous songs or your own songs?
Both. It doesn't matter. I am non-discriminatory when it comes to lyrics. I forget it all the time. Luckily now, so the situation I'm in now is that I'm working a lot in a band that does a lot of club dates, private events, and weddings. And it is so much more lucrative. I'm telling you, if you're a singer who's struggling to become your own artist, do stuff like this. Especially weddings, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, weddings got to be very, very...
Oh, hell
very,
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, on this cheap end, you get $500 a gig. When you're an artist trying to make it, man, you'll be lucky if you get like $100 for doing your music for a crowd who doesn't know it.
Right.
Right. Your question again was what? Lyrics.
Do you forget lyrics? You forget questions? You forget
yes.
Yeah, but you definitely forget lyrics. I mean,
yeah.
I forget all the... I have to have this.
I remember where I was going. Because of the wedding thing, there's so many new songs that can happen, that can be asked for week to week, that to retain all of those words and the melodies at the same time, so brand new with only a couple of days' notice, I do have to read from time to time.
Kind of like a karaoke screen where the ball bounces.
Not a screen. Like now, people have their tablets. They have their tablets right on the microphone stands. Me personally, I'm waiting to get some scratch to buy a tablet, but I have my lyrics and I have my own lyric book, which I always bring with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to have this right here. I always have like a list of questions. I mean, we go off in different things. We go off in things all the time because everyone goes off.
You're much more organized than I.
Yeah, that's something I am, is organized like to a fault.
Yes.
I'm always overthinking things before they happen.
Right.
Do you get like nervous before performances or podcasts more? Which one are you more?
Okay, so I think that I am. I'm definitely more nervous before a podcast, before an actual performance, because the stage, like singing and performing, that is actually where I feel the most comfortable in life. Podcasting is a passion that I have had ever since I wanted to be in radio as a young child. However, you don't know when you're podcasting how things are going to go. Like when we started this, you had no idea we were going to be boring for 15 minutes.
We were entertaining for the military white guys.
Yes.
And the black guys with shaving wavers, they enjoyed this. So that very small niche of people were like, this is my shit.
Right. But Like when you came on to my show not too long ago, I had no idea how it was going to go, especially since you know how the world of podcasting is. You don't know who's going to show up, who's going to give you enough notice when they don't show up.
Yes.
And how much the dynamic of a conversation can change when people that you are relying on to create that formulaic atmosphere, that vibe, that chemistry are not there. And then what if someone's having an off day?
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, Mike Tyson.
Right.
Everybody has a plan. I always have a plan. And it's the people that you don't expect to say things that will say things.
Right.
Like Dolce, who's not here because he got stung by a bee. He's in the hospital right now. Poor guy's crying.
He's got stung by a bee?
Poor guy.
I'm sorry.
Poor guy. You know, he's kind of soft. Anyway. So, he's always like, he always tells me, he's like, black people will not answer these questions every time and time again.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I Try Jam, my podcast, for the last 4.5 years has been very urban thematic in the fact that we are a black podcast hosted by a white guy. And that all of our guests are from the urban community, whether it be, you know, artists, music artists, or just regular artists who paint stuff, or like script writers, filmmakers, politicians, community activists, all those things. They often, more often than not, will fall under the urban category. But to have me as a host, and also the producers that I have, who kind of share a similar line of symmetry when it comes to humor, we really annoy the fuck out of my other co-hosts.
Well, the same thing with this, where I say it's white people humor with black people.
Right.
And very different humors.
Right, exactly.
But I think because we were, hey, going back to the military, but I think because we were in the military, we learned to really mesh our humor with all groups.
Right. And also the enormous amount of butt fucking that we all did.
A lot of butt sex.
A lot of butt sex.
Like when you're in the military, when you're in Iraq and Afghanistan, you can have vaginal sex ever.
No.
That's against the rules.
It's all butt sex.
All butt sex all the time.
Yes, it's just what's there.
There's a lot of butts there.
Yes.
And guys, I was in the gym 3 hours a day. 2 hours of that, butt sex.
Butt sex. And depending on what third world country you're in, sometimes it's goats. There's a lot of goats.
There's a lot of goats
in
over
the Middle
there.
East.
I mean,
Man.
shit happens. Are you thirsty? Do you need another high noon or are you good? I think I need another one because we're about to play a game.
We're about to play a game?
Yes.
I would love more liquor.
Do you want a pineapple or a watermelon or a black cherry? Or
You know what? In honor of the black folks who aren't here, I'll try watermelon.
Watermelon? So the first game is called Don't Look Away. Have you heard of this game before?
I have heard of this notorious game, yes.
So this game actually came from Stormy. Wasn't her idea, but when she came on the show...
Can I shout out Stormy real quick?
Go for it.
Stormy has been so helpful to us on Try Jam Podcast. As you have noticed, she's on every fucking podcast
Yes.
that exists within the tri-state area. And not you fucking New Yorkers, your tri-state area. I'm talking about the greater Philadelphia tri-state
Yes.
area. Yeah, she when Joe Rivers left the show, she's still great family and friends to us on Try Jam. But Stormy stepped in and fulfilled the female presence that we were seriously lacking on the show, and she's great.
It's very important to have a female perspective.
Right.
We don't always have it. Sometimes we do. Stormy a lot of times is that. Mara also steps in. We do have, and Stormy and Mara are both amazing. Stormy's hilarious. She's helped. She's came on the show for our female perspective, but she's more than even just that. She is.
Is Mara hot?
I cannot say these things.
Oh,
I have a
really?
girlfriend.
I want to know.
You could see her. She's went the most viral on our clips on TikTok.
So the answer is yes. I am single.
I think of her like a sister, so I don't think of her that way.
Really? You can't just honestly say that someone is like attractive or not, even if they're that close to you?
She's attractive.
I know you're
but
not single. I know
she is
you're not
attractive,
single.
but I do not find her attractive in that way. I know other people do. Theo may or may not.
Did you hear that? He thinks you're ugly.
I do not think she's ugly. I just don't think of her in that way at all. Like, it would be disgusting to me to think of her in that way.
Oh, disgusting. Did you hear these words? Take offense.
I think of her and Stormy as the same way. Like, I would never like think of Stormy or her in that kind of way.
I don't know. I would say Stormy and I are good buddies, good friends. But if we ever got really drunk one night, I don't know what happened.
Has that ever happened?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay, so the name of the game is Don't Look Away, which is brought to us by Erotic Boudoir. Use promo code LOVINTHEM at checkout for 10% off your next order of $25 or more. That's EROTIC-BOUDOIR.com. I read the shit out of that.
Sure did.
I guess I might have had a few more beers than I thought. So, are you going to give him play-by-plays, you think?
Good at giving play-by-plays.
Like, so...
I saw a preview on your monitor on your laptop.
I normally try to turn it, but...
No, I'm too inquisitive.
So, do you think you could give us a play-by-play?
I will try my hardest. This is for the listening audience?
This is for the listening audience.
God.
And nobody can actually see these because these are pornographic in nature. So, you want to say what's happening on the screen?
Well, currently we have what I believe is a female vagina.
Let's remove the... Ooh.
Okay.
If you remove your headphones, you can hear what's going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, it's very, very evident that this woman is pissing into a wine glass. I would
Bottoms
say,
up.
I would say that she's probably about 45 or older, considering the varicose veins on her legs. Also, she really does need to hydrate a little bit more because the color of her urine is of strong apple juice. And I was right. We just saw her face. She's in her 40s.
White trash. And she's now...
And she's drinking her urine.
Ooh, she enjoys it, though.
She just gave a refreshing...
Oh, she's licking the brim, up going to town. Oh, she's by a campfire. We'll buy a fire in the house.
That is not a campfire.
Well, it depends how rich you are. That could be a
This is
campfire.
someone who doesn't pay for gas heat.
Now she has piss in her mouth, and what is she doing?
She is spitting onto a piece of paper that either has a picture of cum on it.
I think it's naked girl. It's a pornographic picture, and she's just...
Oh, I can't see shit. Those are girls in this picture.
Yes, these are girls. They may be attractive. I can't really tell from here, but and she. By the way, there's books in the background. This is very.
She's wearing the uniform white trash wife beater shirt.
Blonde with bangs in her 40s or 50s,
and she has a whole bunch of books behind her that I'm sure she's never read.
But she's really. Oh,
okay. So she took a big swig of urine and is letting it drip down her chin across her disgustingly gross flabby bosom.
And now it's just going up. She's pouring it all over her white wife beater, which is such a weird name for a shirt. But when it's complemented by the piss on the tits, it just really sends it home.
Is this another golden shower?
Could you get off to this? Could you, if you were in Iraq? No internet. This is the only porn you have.
No, I'm going to masturbate to my mind. Also, this woman is Caucasian. I like black women, so I.
You don't have sex with white girls at all? I
did once. I was very, very drunk.
You have to be drunk to have sex with a white woman?
Pretty much. Nothing against, people of my own race. I just don't like you as much.
I've heard that they're more demanding in the bedroom.
She's really gulping that stuff too. Yeah. Did she just drink it?
Yeah. She finished the glass. Bottoms up. So
I didn't look away.
You didn't look. That's the first video. We got two more. If you do look away, you have to chug a whole high noon. So
chug the whole high noon that's left.
Yes.
Great.
So you said something interesting there. Do you only have sex with black women then, or any race besides white?
So I mean, I have a type, and it's not white. My type is I love black women.
I've heard they're more demanding in the bedroom. Dolce has said that I couldn't handle it because they would say, your dick's cornier, or they would say some crazy shit like that. No?
Your dick is cornier?
Like, they would be more demanding. Like,
it's not your dick that would be corny. It would be you as a human and how you use your dick. Your methods would be corny.
But would you say they're more demanding? Well, you only have one white girl experience, so you don't know. You actually couldn't be...
No, and the one white girl I was with wasn't very demanding at all. I think I gave her my less than D game. Yeah. and she was completely, from what I was able to gather from what she said, satisfied. But I couldn't do the same moves on any one of the people that I've ever slept with, and get a call back. No, of course not. No. It was the drunk experience with the white chick was purely a means to an end.
We all have been there. So speaking of white girls and
What the fuck is this?
You want to tell everyone what we see before I hit play?
Well, what I think I'm looking at is someone who has a twig up against what
A
looks
sticker
like
twig. Let's call it a sticker bush twig.
a sticker twig with thorns up against 2 pomegranates.
So there's a man's balls in like a wooden noose, and his dick is being.
Okay, so it's
don't know what
it's
you
a
would
ball
call
sack and an uncircumcised penis.
Is that what an uncircumcised penis looks like? I feel like there's got to be more to that dick.
I know that my dick does not look like that, and I am circumcised, so that is an uncircumcised
I've seen
penis.
enough dicks to know. I think there's
You
something
have,
else.
huh?
Since this game has started, I've seen a lot of crazy shit.
Okay.
All right, well let's get by a play-by-play. Let's see what happens here.
All right. So this woman is okay, so this guy is wearing a fucking Batman
Batman
mask?
in a prison cell with a woman on her knees using sticker bushes on his balls, and this ball and dick is purple.
She is poking and scratching and rubbing this thorn branch up again.
There's like a metal thing going in the middle of his balls to separate them.
I really don't know how to describe what we're looking at. I'm trying
Batman
my
in
hardest.
prison getting his balls penetrated while between a wooden board is the best thing you can say.
Yes. If you ever seen like in those old depictions of people in like the stocks?
Oh, they have
the stocks where they have their head
and arms out
and their arms in a plank. And they're staying there for days and days on end. That is what's happening to this guy's balls.
and it's.
And this chick who's wearing the purple wig, I'm guessing she's supposed to be Raven from.
She would be hot, I think, if we could see her face. I don't.
I am looking at her.
And he's tightening the board. He's tightening the board on his balls.
No.
Oh no, he let it out.
He loosened it up. I guess he's done.
He said, "Oh well, that was good enough for me. Let's see if anything happens next."
Where did you get my home videos from, by the way?
But this is by Roddy Boudoir. This guy is fucking really.
So Batman put what looks like the biggest cock ring I've ever seen.
Oh, it's a penis pump, I think.
You ever use one of those?
No, have you?
Yes.
Does it work?
Nope.
Does it just hurt?
Yes. And you get little like blood bruises. The blood trying to rise from the blood vessels through the surface of the dick skin.
All right, that sounds interesting. So, did you use it before sex, or did you try it beforehand, like to see what would happen?
I just bought it out of sheer interest, and I was just like, oh, maybe this will be cool. Like I'm all right, with hoping maybe make me a little bit more all right, especially with the black girl preference. But then when I grew up, I was 20, 21 at the time, just doing dumb young kid decisions. I'm 30 now.
Okay, so you're 21. Yeah,
thinking that really that any bit of that false these lies between like extends those pills and
I tried
penis
that
pumps
just for shits and gigs for like a month.
I will say this.
They don't do anything.
Extends does not do anything. Great, I'm just letting everything open. But Extends does not do anything for actual male enhancement in terms of growth. But if you're not someone who can like afford like Viagra,
it works for that.
It actually does very, very well for stamina, holding out, thwarting premature ejaculation, and also it does put some extra oomph into your erection. It won't make you fucking mandingo, but what it will do is put all the blood where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But those things are not FDA regulated, so depending upon what batch you got, it might work, it might not.
Hey, so protein shakes aren't either. So this is one of my favorite clips. This was actually I was saving for Stormy, but she was supposed to be here today, but she had to do whatever Stormy has to do. And
she's doing being a model or something today.
All right, yeah, let's take our headphones off and listen one more time. This is my favorite one that I've come across, by the way.
I really have to listen to this.
It's
very imperative.
It's very visual, most of these.
Okay.
But so these two women we have seen a lot here. Do you know what this is?
I believe I'm looking at two incredibly prolapsed anuses.
Yes, so it's two women with their anal prolapses touching. So they're holding their ass out, and it looks like two elephant trunks.
These
kissing.
are two women taking joy in a very serious What the fuck is that?
So the one woman is now sucking the other woman's prolapsed anus. and really going to town. I mean, she's licking that thing clean. Now she's spanking it, spitting on it. Oh, I have a question for you about spit later. Now she's moving her prolapse anus in and out.
Whoa!
She pulled her whole anus out of her body.
That is not a. Oh, okay, that's false. That is. That she just let she got the wizard out from behind the curtain. That is not her anus. She can't just pull her anus out.
I mean, I don't.
That is a dildo looking like a prolapsed anus.
I mean, it's a according to
you. If it was her real anus,
she wouldn't.
be
She's
able
using
to take
gloves
it out of her butt.
but she's using gloves right now, which means she's trying to be safe. I mean, this is a woman that's not your average woman. She does prolapse anus stuff all day, every day.
When was the last time your intestines were just nonchalantly disconnected from the rest of your body? She pulled that whole fucker out.
Yeah,
that is a dildo that looks like a prolapsed anus.
that was a big fake prolapse anus dildo.
That is a big fake yes, you're right. That is a big fake prolapse dildo.
Is that what you're
anus
so?
dildo.
My girl does this thing where if she sees fucked up videos, she tells herself that it's not real, just to, in her mind, conceptualize what she just saw.
Right.
So she'll be like, "Oh, that's not real. That didn't really happen."
That wasn't real.
Is that what your brain's doing right now?
No, that is what fact is doing right now. That was not a real prolapse anus. She took that fucker out and then put it back in.
About yay big, you think? The size of a baby.
The anus.
Well, the size of a kid, probably.
The anal canal, or whatever it is. It's so fucking vast and deep. That can fit in there. You ever see someone fit their whole head in a anus? Or
I'm
not
sure I
head.
have.
I mean like the whole fist.
Oh yeah, we've had double fisting, pulling the prolapse anus out. Oh, I guess pulling the anus out to be prolapsed.
Right. It is deep, dark, and cavernous.
Yes.
That is the Webster's definition of anus. That is, there is so much room in there. Yeah, a whole fucking 3 foot long dildo could fit in someone's ass.
So next time you're having sex, you're gonna think of that video. Now you will. Now you will.
I'm going to avoid it as much as I can.
Now you will.
What?
So
You guys are fucked up, man.
So when Stormy was on, right, we found that, according to her, Theo and Dolce will dispute this fact 100 times.
Who's Dolce?
Dolce is the co-host that's got stung by a bee, poor guy.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like I'm talking to like my imaginary friend. Like,
right.
I swear he's real because he was supposed
Are
to come
these
here.
folks real?
Dolce's real. So Dolce is Theo Dolce.
I have evidence of Theo.
Theo exists. But what came up on her episode was that black people like to spit in other black people's mouths during sex or during sex.
She's told that to us before.
Now, since you have sex with strictly black women,
that is a Stormy thing. I don't know what the fuck she's talking
you've
about.
never spit in somebody's mouth?
No! No!
Has anyone ever spit in your mouth?
It's so unsanitary.
Has anyone ever spit in your mouth?
No. And if they did, I would fucking sucker punch the shit. No, I can't do that.
See, I can't stand spit. That if I play this game and I put on a spit video, I get puke bags because I puke right away. That's something that I can watch. The piss thing almost got me a little bit. I can watch shit. I can watch blood. I can watch anal prolapses. I can watch guys' dicks getting cut off. No problem.
Is that what you refer to when you're just trying to, get off? Stuff like that?
No, this is not a fun game to research for, by the way. Thankfully, Erotic Boudoir sends this to me. But when I have to do the research myself, it turns me off for like a day or two. Like I'm not into sex right now, because what you have to find.
I got to be honest. I'm probably the most horniest person I know, and now I don't even want to have sex.
Virgin for the rest of your life.
No. Virgin for the next maybe 7 to 9 minutes.
Are we gonna have sex here?
I mean,
Yo, I have an idea for a podcast.
We're not having sex on the podcast.
Oh, come on. And so, how often do you think you get laid from singing?
Not as much as I'd like. It just happens to be by coincidence or circumstance that the majority of the weddings that my band plays, there's not a lot of black folks there, and I have a type. I love black women, and I don't know. And also, I'm not the most comfortable person when it comes to the approach either.
So you want to be approached?
That's always it's a lot of work that I don't have to do, but yeah, for me, if I talk to someone after a gig after I'm singing. Also, it really helps that I've been like the center of attention for the pretty much the course of the night when I'm singing somewhere that would warrant having someone engage in a conversation with me in the first place, as opposed to just some random dude who approaches someone in a bar or whatever. That always helps. But because I'm such a nervous person, such an anxiety-prone and driven person, my game needs some work, bro. I got to be honest.
But your singing is your wingman. Like, you don't have to open up.
Right. So when I'm in a situation where I'm not singing, I have no wingman.
Right.
Right. So, and, but because I am not singing more in life more than I am singing.
Yeah.
But I guess to answer your question more definitely, I don't get laid from singing.
It sounded so sad.
As much as I would like. Also, as someone who's trying to at some point, settle down from my Hoeish ways, which I've had quite a few. And when I say not as much as I'd like, we're talking about 50% of the attempts I make, I don't get the chance to follow through on. So I'm like, it's really hit or miss. But that also lends itself to a lot of shallow moments, and I would like to just at some point get myself grounded to where I'm not that guy.
So you talked about earlier how you were singing for the Temptations. That was like your worst performance ever. In the crowd, there was a lot of older black women, right?
No, actually, the Temptations have a crossover audience that's crazy. If you go to a Temptations concert now, there are more old white people than there are old black people.
So what's the oldest person you ever had sex with?
I was 21.
You're like, I like this story.
This is actually a great sexual memories for me. I was 21. She was 46. That was the biggest difference between me and anybody else.
Big age.
Yeah, but she was hot, bro. Hot.
Was she good? Did her body hold up good?
Oh my gosh, I need to find a picture. I have.
Wait, do you still talk to this person?
No, I don't talk to her, but I think she's discoverable on Facebook.
Where were you at when you met this person?
At a gig.
Where at? Like which part of the world?
Hawaii.
Okay. Was she Hawaiian?
No. So she was black and part Native American.
Okay.
And we're talking about, oh my God, we're talking about the hugest ass I have ever
When
been.
you say huge, do you mean fat, like wide, or do you just mean, I guess like fat, like backwards? I don't know what you call that.
Fat backwards? You mean like the ass is protruding through the front, like she has like a vajummic or something?
No, I mean like it goes out, like her ass goes out, or her ass is wide. Is she wide?
Both.
Okay.
It was wide and out.
So you're an ass man.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm in the white girl some boobs. Obviously, my girlfriend has huge boobs, so.
So I got to find a picture of her when I met her.
I'll tell you the story about the oldest woman.
This is the girl. She was 46 at this time, looking like this.
Okay.
And look at her ass right here. Look how far this thing protrudes past her.
So it looks like she's doing one of those Hawaiian dances. What are they called? A
hula.
A hula.
And then she was also a Jet Beauty of the Week, Jet Magazine Beauty of the Week. And she was 40 in this picture. This was 6 years before I met her.
How did you woo her?
Okay. So what I did was just to get her phone number. She was telling me, like, I was at a gig. I was actually supporting someone else's gig, and they called me up to sing, just to sit in for like 2 songs. And I noticed her right away. I was like, fuck, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Love her ass. Also, she's one of those people who apparently needed a breast reduction. So when I met her, she was already reduced, and her tits were still huge.
Yeah. Well, they do a lift too. There's a whole bunch of things, but yeah.
Right. She said that her tits were like almost twice as large when she was younger, and it was hurting her back.
Right.
So she got it like in her 30s, and I'm like, fuck you. I missed out on all those. But anyway, so I was at this gig, and she was the roommate of a friend of mine who was performing in that band, and we kind of talked for a little bit. And we talked a bit after the gig was over in the parking lot, and she was telling me, you know what, you should sing this song. Like, black people love it. And it's, which I was listening to her song, and which the black people she was talking to were old black people, not contemporary younger black people. At this moment, from Family Ties, which forget it. But I was like, I never heard that song. Can you text the song to me?
Oh, fucking smart, smooth as fuck.
So I got her phone number that way.
And were you drinking at this time, or were you?
Oh yeah, I was. I'll say this: I think I'm more proactive, more daring with liquor in my system.
See, I'm great. I'm very much taken now, so I am in no way looking for anyone else. But when I was single, I'm very good at opening up.
Right.
I can kill it. Not a great closer, because I often forget names very, very fast. Very fast.
I forget name. Who are you?
Jeff.
Okay, Jeff. Nice to meet you, Jeff. Mr. Everything.
Mr. Everybody.
That was on purpose. Justin.
Have you ever got laid from podcasting?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. I don't want to expound on this story. There was. I've definitely have slept with people who have been guests on the show before.
That erases a Plead the Fifth question, but I'm glad you answered that. Yeah. Was it like you got their phone number before they came on because you found them attractive, or during the show they got your phone number?
Oh, what did I say to her? There was two people. This first person. Oh, I remember. I'm not so sure that your listeners will go back to the history of my podcast and look up who I'm talking about, but
you just say your name.
I'm not going to. So this person came on, and on the show, she came in with this podcast whose main gimmick was doing podcasting while drinking, not knowing that that's not really a special
thing.
The word I'm using is a special, not a special.
Oh, okay.
Yes. As we're doing right now.
Yes.
How do I have more cans than you do right now?
I keep putting them by my feet.
Oh.
We have the same amount of cans, actually.
All right, because you look better than I do. I look like I'm just building a collection over here.
I just put them down. I have too many things going on over here, as you know, when you host the podcast. There's a lot of different buttons and all these kind of things.
Right. So, her podcast, they had this card game, and it was, I pulled a card, and it was like, take a shot from someone's body part. So what she did was, she like lifted her shirt up, had her titties out in her bra, and then put this shot glass in between her titties. And then I went over, and I was supposed to take the shot glass without using my hands.
Yes.
So I put my face in there, grabbed it with my teeth, and went back.
Yeah.
And it was actually quite fun. And then later that evening, I texted her, or actually I found her on Instagram and messaged her, and I was like, do you believe in love and first body shot? Love and first body shot? And she's like, that was very creative. And so then we actually went out like the next day.
Sounds so corny, but it worked so well. Congratulations.
Yeah, it worked out. And we were seeing each other for like a good month or so.
That's good.
Month and a half.
Been there. So the name of the game is Plead the Fifth. What's going to happen is I'm going to issue 5 questions during this game. What's going to happen? And you know what? I'm going to play the theme song. I'm going to run that back when I'm more sober. Oh, damn it, Justin. You know what? I've turned the music off for the porn again. I always do this. I turn the sound off for the porn and I forget about it once I start drinking.
Were you drunk on last week? On last week?
I wasn't drunk.
Because you left in the middle of something and gave the weird wave goodbye as you left the door. I was like, oh man, he must be hot and drunk.
I was muted, so I was like, they must have like their own thing going on. And I was like, I got to get home because I have to wake up early.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you felt out of the loop because you weren't wearing your headphones for the most part.
Really?
Yeah.
I like wearing my headphones. I normally always do because I'm hard of hearing.
Instructed is not guilty. You're the one who's guilty.
Call the first witness.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. And the truth. I'll set you free.
Then you're just a bunch of lousy, yellow, stinking cowards.
Sir, you're out of order. Nothing further, Your Honor.
I plead the fifth. No, but I can tell you that I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
The name of the game is Plead the Fifth. What's going to happen is
I feel like I'm always on a bad trip whenever I listen to your theme music.
Now, did you enjoy that? Which one's better?
I enjoyed that very much.
You like that one a lot?
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was. I feel like I needed to be high or something.
You needed to be high?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, no. The combination of the drinking that we're doing.
Yes.
With that audio being forced into my ear holes.
Yes.
I felt high.
Was fucking your ear.
It was fucking my ear.
So the name of the game is Plead the Fifth. What's going to happen is I'm going to do 5 questions. During this game, you can plead the fifth once and only once.
Okay.
If you do not plead the fifth, I want the chocolate whole beer. If you do plead the fifth, you will have the chocolate whole beer. Are you ready?
Well, I don't have a beer.
High Noon should be a sponsor.
Yes. All right.
A can of alcoholic beverage. How about that?
I got you. All right.
Now, these questions I think are pretty good because I wrote them kind of how the questions I wouldn't want to answer.
Right. I'm pretty open, by the way.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that.
All right. Go ahead. Don't do that.
Who is the worst guest you have ever had on your show? And we're looking for a name.
Worst guest I've ever had on my show. Okay, I gotta look up his name.
You don't know his name?
No, because I blanked him out in my memory because he was such an asshole.
Was he a musician?
No. Hold on. I gotta go back into my podcast library here. Because he was on last year.
What was so bad about him?
He was a fucking crook, dude.
In what way?
In the way that he owns a local business. He's an aspiring actor with not much of a personality who owns a business in the area. And it's a venue that I found the name. He's Joshua Worlds. So he owns a venue in somewhere in South Jersey. And then he admitted on the show that he has shady contracts for his artists that appear at his venue so that the venue can maintain their revenue stream. During the pandemic, when people weren't wanting to go out and perform anywhere, like that shit just is crazy to me. And then after my comedian on my podcast asked him on the show straight up about some weird business practices that he had in regards to his comedy show at his venue, he got all upset and said, hey, the boys in my community or whoever, like, I can't protect you from them.
Did you call him out during the show or did you say something after the show?
I didn't know his character before, and I actually was listening to this guy kind of in a bit of shock. I should have been able to, recuperate and then like press on him, like ask him more questions, like I was on like Dateline or something. But
what are you doing here?
I was like, I'm listening. I'm like, did you really just say the way our contracts are formed? Like, yeah, we made sure that we got our money. You took money from people who couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that guy.
Okay. Question 2.
All right.
How many people have you had sex with? Now, the questions could get harder. They could get easier. We'll do a checkpoint here. You can do a checkpoint once. You have to come back to the question if you do make a checkpoint, though.
I know a minimum.
Okay, let's go with the minimum.
Is that?
Let's go. What's your minimum and maximum? Because you obviously don't know your exact number. What's your ballpark?
I know for a fact it's been no less than 30.
Okay. What's the most you think it could be?
40.
Okay. It's not terrible.
No, not terrible.
Who is your worst co-host? Need a name.
On my podcast?
Yeah, on your podcast, Try Jam Podcast. Go check it out. Subscribe.
Does that include subs? Or is it mainstays who I still have to work with from week to week?
We had to go work week to week just because you asked the question. I was going to say it could be anyone that's ever co-hosted, but because of the way you asked the question, obviously.
I'm going to answer it diplomatically, but still give you a name.
Can't be your name.
It's not my name.
Okay.
All right. The worst co-host I've ever had, and I love him to death. I'll say that. I love him to death, is Will fucking Wright. He's only because he gets on my fucking nerves so much.
Because he eats and is on his phone. And
Yes.
co-host, bro. Fucking co-host.
But what he brings to the show is the comedic relief that we need, and he's a good friend of mine. I love him to death. He's just, but it's just something that we do together. We get on each other's nerves all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's because of stuff that we both do. I annoy him because I'm so anal about what I want. And he annoys me because he doesn't care about what I ask him. So it just, it's just the way it is.
Co-host.
Yeah. And everyone is their own personality. Everyone is their own being. They have their own way of thinking, their own way of doing things. And you're not ever going to be somewhere where 100% of the time it's going to be truly symbiotic, truly a machine that works the way it's supposed to. So the best thing that we can do is love each other and get the product done in the way that we can, and then I'll just edit all the shit that he says that I don't like.
That's good enough. Question 4. What is the worst show to ever record out of Tri-Jam Studios? If you don't know, you also own the studio. So there's you, Dan, Kyle, all own this studio. You have podcasts strictly out of there. What's the worst show to ever record out of there?
Oh, God, why would you...
Because I thought of questions that would be difficult for me to answer. Now, remember, you still have one question after this. This could be the hardest question. This could be the
You want a name?
A name. All these questions are names. This is Plead the Fifth. You are under oath. Last name is Judge, and I do have a gavel. Gonna chug the whole thing?
Yes, I plead the fifth on that one.
Okay. Congratulations, you lost the game. Shame on you and your family.
Oh, really? Did I lose the game already? I thought I thought it was my lifeline right there.
Nope. That was now you have one more question that you have to answer because you already pled the fifth.
Oh shit. Okay. Ready?
Who is the worst person you ever had in bed? Names are needed. I told you not to buy out too soon.
Can I go back to the fourth question and name the podcast?
Yes, you can. If you want to. I said you could. I said there was a checkpoint option, which we just started doing. So you can either say the worst person you ever had in bed or the worst show that ever recorded out of Tri-Jam Studios.
I hate you so much right now. Oh, man.
You know both the names, right?
I know both the names, and I'm just like, oh, which one do I care less about? I hate you so much, dude. You're a fucking asshole.
I told you. I knew this was going to be a difficult one because it was questions that I knew I wouldn't answer. And I was like, this is a white guy bald with a beard that has a podcast. So he has the same mindset as me. He can't say these two answers, but...
All right, I'll give you an answer, all right?
Which one?
Her name is Janine.
Uh-huh. Was she the white girl?
No.
What was so bad about her?
I fucking hate you, man.
What was so bad about her? People are curious.
Why'd your voice just go up like 3 octaves?
When I get excited, my voice goes up. Make me sound like a Tasmanian devil, bro. So, what is the answer? What was so bad about her? She dead fish?
No. She was selfish.
So she got hers really fast?
She always invited me over for sex on the predication that she get hers first.
Did she come fast, or was it like...
No. So what it would be like, especially the last couple of encounters.
How long ago was this?
4 months ago.
Okay, so pretty recent.
It was the last time. Mm-hmm. But we had this on-off relationship. Well, it wasn't even a relationship. It was on-off encounters for the better part of like 3 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And she would always invite me over to just eat her out.
What?
Because I was apparently the only one who had enough skills to get her to where she wanted to be from that experience.
Do you regret getting her there the first time? You're like,
considering how much I would do it and then she wouldn't return any favors.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's your technique then?
Huh?
What's your technique?
What's my technique? Oh, the alphabet helps. I mean, it's just.
What do you mean the alphabet helps?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. All, spelling the alphabet out with your tongue. But, I mean, I can't even say that. It's the biggest technique that I can offer for is not even something that works for me. It's being a attentive and well listening person to be able to hear from her responses and also to be able to sense from her bodily actions what is working and what's not. So you go through a whole bunch of probably what is essentially dog shit until you find something that is getting positive responses, and then you fucking stay there until she tells you to do something else.
Right. See, I had a problem when I first started eating girls out was I watched porn like a lot of guys to figure out what sex was. And the worst thing you can do, especially for eating girls out, is watch porn, because what they do is they start to smack the pussy and then they're just like terrible.
Yeah, that's all show.
Yeah.
That's all show. The girls don't want that. And then when she actually when we graduated for me actually fucking because I was going over there all the time because I liked how she looked. I loved every part of her. And I was like, I can't wait to smash, but she wasn't letting me for the longest time. And then when we actually were smashing, give me nothing. So it's the combination of being selfish, me doing all the work, and her giving me nothing.
How did you meet her?
Hinge.
So you went on Hinge and you said, I would love to eat your pussy. Is that how it started? Or she just invited you over?
No. So actually, we first got together because, like the day that we first had any kind of sexual activity, she actually FaceTimed me. She called me an asshole before we even got together. And she's an asshole too. She is a fucking... she has a higher income and then has like the mentality of like a rich bitch.
Yeah.
That I can't vibe with. This is not a real personality that you're having.
Right.
And your entitlement.
You're wasting her time.
The way you act with folks. I can't see you being liked by very many people on a personal, even friendship level at all. Fucking bitch.
Okay, so I guess I know how it ended.
Fucking cunt. I don't give a shit. I said cunt.
He said it.
I said it.
Done it.
Fuck you.
I'm guessing you guys still don't talk anymore.
Funky pussy fucking cunt pussy.
I'm guessing you guys don't talk anymore, huh?
Oh, no. Because what happened was I asked out her sister the same day that we hooked up the last time. And then she found out about it.
That's a ballsy move.
Yeah, it was. I was drunk. But it was...
Who was better looking, her or sister?
Sister.
Did you get with her sister? No.
No.
She put a stop to it real fast.
No. What happened was her... I can't believe I'm saying all this shit. Fucking High Noon.
Should be a sponsor.
Should be a sponsor. Sorry about that. Podcast studio owner, by the way. Damn, I can't believe I'm talking about this. So I asked her, I had gotten really drunk at a gig.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, I want to have sex with somebody. So I was looking up, who do I have options? And I was like, I had befriended her sister on Instagram a couple months prior, but we hadn't really interacted. And I messaged her, I was like, what could I do to convince you to come out and meet me for a drink tonight?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, where are you? I'm like, I'm in Trenton. It's like, oh, it's a little bit far away, but maybe another time. I'm like, all right, cool, okay. Oh, cool. That's not what I said. That was the High Noon telling me what I was saying. But yeah, so, and then, so when her sister was like, no, I get home, was like, you know what? I'm not done looking for ass. So let me go and it's like, talk to the girl I was actually messing with, her sister, and was like, hey, I called her up and I was like, hey, so what are you doing right now? She's like, who is this? She had like deleted my number.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, no, it's Kyle. And I was like, really? You're calling me right now? I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, it's like, what do you want from me, Kyle? Because we keep going off and on and stuff like this. Like, I just want to eat you out and that's all. Which is not the case. That wasn't the case. That was my segue. And then so then we did what we did. It was a pretty long night. And then like the next day was Mother's Day. So that she's going over to meet her mother and her two sisters.
Yeah.
And I gotta so between my walk from her apartment to walking her to her car, she is singing almost at the top of her lungs for people to hear in the complex that she's in. She's like in this apartment complex that has rows of these buildings. You know what I'm talking about? Almost like this place that we're at right now. And she's singing from the front door to her car, I got dick last night. I got dick last night. And it must have been good because also like I ate her out too. And she came when she came, she fell off the bed, which was like such a huge ego boost for me. And I could only imagine that she got to this brunch with her mother and her sisters and she started bragging and then showed her who I was. Yeah. It's like, oh, wait a second. I talked to him yesterday too.
So she realized that she was the backup.
I think that's what happened. Because if she looked at the time signatures, I messaged her about 2 hours before I called her. And not a good moment for me.
Did she call you and confront you on this or just text you?
She texted me and was like, oh, so you were asking out my sisters on Instagram. Cool. And then she like blocked me.
It doesn't sound as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
What do you mean?
I mean, you were like, she's a fucking cunt, this, that, and the other.
Oh, okay. No, all the stuff that happened afterwards, she blocked me and then she would unblock me to tell me just some like really like vile shit and then block me again before I could respond. Yeah. So yeah, and it wasn't like that moment I just described. Like I didn't describe just the trying to have a conversation with her, where she let loose all of the ways that she was what's the word I'm looking for? Privileged. Yeah. That she was better than you. Yeah, that she was better than you and other people. Right. Like she would talk down to the waitress kind of thing? She could if she wanted to. I never saw her do that, but she, like, her last text message to me was, you have nothing to offer high-earning women. What did she do for work? Pharmaceuticals. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, not drug dealers. She worked in a pharmaceutical company. I understand, but, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm impressed by her, but I understand how she made the money. Yeah. Yeah, so. Yes. She made a lot of money doing something. Was she older? No, she was older. She's older than me. How old are you? 29, right? 30. 30. When I met her, I was 28. She was 30. Okay, so not that much older. Yeah, she was a virgin then. I feel like I got to pee again. Do you want another high noon, or do you have to pee? You know what? No, I have to pee too. Go pee. Let's go pee, then we'll be back and we'll get back to it. Let's pee together. No, I'm just kidding. Swords! Yeah, so what did I say last? Fuck, if I remember. She was a virgin? She was a scary bear. She was a hairy bear. So, all right. So what are you best at? Say you're going down to Georgia. And you're going to play the fiddle against the devil. What's your fiddle? Is it singing? Is it songwriting? Is it podcasting? It's definitely not songwriting. I'll tell you that. It is not I've looked at like notebooks of lyrics I've written. I'm like, what fucking fifth grader wrote this shit? So I am not a good songwriter. There is a group of people over at the label that I'm working with right now called Climax Entertainment, and they're really helping me out with writing better songs and help me produce some good content and good music. I think that if I'm going to Georgia to play the fiddle with the devil, I'm not playing the fiddle. What is your fiddle? My fiddle is my head game. No, my fiddle is my to rich black women. Right. Wow. Watch yourself, rich white women. Ooh. No. It is definitely. Oh man, that's a good question. I think it's either going to be singing, or it's just going to be general creative production, and that includes podcasting, video editing, graphics, all that type of stuff. Like what we offer at TriJam Studio is an opportunity for folks who don't have a means to an end for any of those things to have those things done for them. Of course, that costs, but between myself, Dan Kane, and Kevin Ward, all of us are very, very proficient at various things. I think I've been editing audio, editing video, doing graphic design, and general just producing of products since I was in middle school. And that is Something I take great pride in is the quality of my work and the quality of my production skills. It's what led me to try to get into radio for a very, very long time before radio decided they didn't want me. And so, yeah, I think that it's either going to be performing and singing and entertaining, because that's another strength I have, or, general creativity.
Okay. So, what do you think your best lyric you ever wrote was? Since you just said that.
My best lyric was, I want to sip you like lemonade.
That's kind of like the, what's that song? Watermelon Sugar?
Watermelon sugar high.
Was like a similar thought process to like, to eating vagina, I guess?
That's what I meant it. So it was a demo that I had written, and I meant that facetiously, by the way. It's not the best lyric I've ever written, but it was actually, there's a song that exists called La 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 Lemonade, and and the concept was, I want to sip you like lemonade, meaning I want to eat you out. But
are you really into this, by the way? Because this is
I do like it, but what people heard was that I wanted to drink this chick's piss.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense.
I want to sip you like lemon, especially if it's a yellow liquid. Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Not what I meant, but I get it. So that song never came out.
Is that the first thing your producer said was, whoa. What do you want to do?
Oh, actually, I produced it myself. So I was like, whoa. Do you really want to do this? Probably not. In fact, the narrative of that song was so fucking vile. And not characteristic of me as a person when it comes to a lot of things. Like, yes, I enjoy Conolangus as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to treat you like shit along the way. Unless you treat me like shit.
You should just replace it with Kool-Aid instead of lemonade. Same.
I want to sip you like Kool-Aid.
It has. I don't know if it has the same like
Kool-Aid.
swag to it, but it has the same ending, so it still rhymes with whatever you had in that song.
I needed 3 syllables.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Hey, Eminem can do anything with. He can rhyme any word. So if he can rhyme orange, you can find a way to make.
Did he rhyme orange? What did he rhyme orange with?
Porridge. But the way he says it, it's the way he says things. It's just like.
I've never heard that before. What song was it? No, don't
he was
answer the
on
question.
Jimmy Kimmel. He was on Jimmy Kimmel, and then he said, "I can rhyme orange with porridge," and then just the way he says things is just how he. It's the reason he's the best rapper of all time.
Okay.
So wait, so you have a lot of old school taste. What's like your Mount Rushmore of music in general? Like 4 favorite bands / singers of all time.
Holy shit.
It could be anyone. It could be a rapper, and it could be an R&B artist. It could be a country star. It could be whatever you want.
Hell, man, that's a great question that I'm not prepared for. I would say that, first and foremost, as we have all probably guessed, the Temptations are my favorite. And they're like the George Washington. All 5 of their heads are getting crammed into George Washington's head on Mount Rushmore. Because they have had a 60-year-long history with, I think at this point, 26, 27 different members that have come in and out of the group and have maintained relevance, not currently, but maintained relevance all the way up and through like the 90s and early 2000s with hits and Grammys and stuff, with such an array of talent. Next to them, all the folks I'm going to give you is old school folks. Because that is where I get my chops from. Those are the folks who I listen to. Marvin Gaye, Freddie Jackson, and probably I would say Luther Vandross, Anthony Hamilton, and Maxwell. Those are my core singular artists.
It could be a band too. It could be anyone.
Well, see, I'm not a band guy.
Okay.
I mean, I am
Temptations themselves are a band. So.
They're a group. It's a difference.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like boy bands weren't even really boy bands. They were singing groups that were stupid. But yeah, so I mean, when I look at entities and I look at artists, I look at like the singular ones, trying to figure out their skills, their chops. So it's like, if Temptations aside, it is always going to be Marvin, Freddie Jackson, Luther Vandross, Anthony Hamilton, and I think I named somebody else, but I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Who's Freddie Jackson?
Freddie Jackson? What?
Who is that?
Oh my gosh.
Who is it?
Freddie Jackson was a very, well, he still is. In fact, I work with him. So Freddie Jackson is a R&B singer whose chart-topping heyday was like the mid to late 80s into the early 90s. He had this song out called You Are My Lady, which is like his national anthem. Also had like Rock Me Tonight, Have You Ever Loved Somebody, Jam Tonight. Very, very dynamic vocal performer.
Okay.
That his ability, especially at that time, was really, really unmatched.
Is he part of the Jackson family or no?
No.
Okay, I had to ask because of the time period.
No. If you ever get a chance, what kind of music do you like to listen to?
So I'll give you my top 5.
Okay.
But I listen to everything. Number 1, Johnny Cash.
Really?
Yeah. Number 2, Queen. Number 3, shit. I'd go Nirvana.
I've never heard of Oh Shit.
Wait, Johnny Cash, Queen, Nirvana. Frank Sinatra. Fifth one. It always changes. Right now, I'm really into Green Day. Lil Dicky could be in there. Lil Dicky's he's my dream guest for the show.
He's a lot of people's dream guest. He's funny. Wow, we are the same person.
Who's your dream guest?
My dream guest. Ooh, who's my dream guest? Ooh. My dream guest is Drake.
Drake? I think he's so corny.
And it's purely for selfish reasons. I wouldn't say that I'm particularly a fan of his music because I don't listen to a lot of his music. What I appreciate is his career and his influence and his mindset on how he gets things done. I guess the next step down from that for me would be Kanye, but I don't like Kanye that much because
Red Hat.
not even he's insane.
Yeah, 100%.
Insane, and people like him because of that.
I don't get it.
I don't understand his appeal as a person and what his values are. His last marriage, I don't get that. But as far as like Drake, starting off as an actor, as the wheelchair kid from Degrassi.
I don't understand like how he got to where he was because growing up at our age, like DMX was like, like it went from like Tupac to like Biggie and like Eminem and DMX, like these hard dudes, and then now it's just like it doesn't matter.
I mean, not being so fluent in rap and hip hop and stuff like that. What I really can understand is the business practice and the drive, and I can appreciate the reinvention of oneself to keep yourself current. What is like? He's in his 40s now, something like that.
I have no idea, but
I mean, the music game. The only people who are popping in their 40s are people who have been there since their 20s. This is someone who has survived the entertainment industry for a very, very long time, starting with acting, getting their way into the music game, and now being such an influence where just the mention of someone else on their platforms can jumpstart the career of somebody else. That's a lot of power.
Yeah, it's hard. Entertainment is so difficult because you can never really let off the gas. Like that's where the one-hit wonders come from, where they're like, I'll sing Ice Ice Baby, and then I'll let it off.
You sing Ice Ice Baby? Can you do it right now? And first of all, it's a rap song, so you're gonna sing Ice Ice Baby?
They're singing in it. Ice Ice Baby. So he does do both of those things. So he performs Ice Ice Baby, right? Then he lets off the gas. I'm not saying he wasn't talented enough to keep going. I don't know. He could have been.
Vanilla Ice was a joke, bro.
Yeah, I'm just using him as like the funky dance is your chance. Like there's people that just came out as one-hit wonders, and as soon as you let off the gas, you're forgotten about.
The reason why Vanilla Ice is still even mentionable now is because of how much of a funny thing he is. Between the hair, the gimmick, like he was like, that was what Eminem tried to not be.
Eminem's my favorite rapper of all
He was
time.
like, Vanilla Ice was like the white, corny MC Hammer, and MC Hammer was a little bit corny himself.
So I recently put out a video where I said during this last episode that came out it was the one that was live at Topps Tomato. And during the show, I said, I think it's bullshit when people say they wouldn't suck dick for $1 million.
I saw the clip. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one went a little popular on YouTube. So I'm going to watch a video on YouTube. Would you suck dick for $1 million?
No.
How much money would it cost?
$1.5 million. I don't know.
$1 million and $5.
No.
I have my dignity.
We all can say what we would say in
Yeah.
the moment without actually having $1 million placed in front of their faces.
Yeah. So, how much would it cost for you to eat shit? Last episode that hasn't been released yet, I said $50,000.
To eat shit?
Yes. Now that's your average. That's the average income of a person in America. They knock on your door once a year. They go, and they say, "Here's your yearly shit, your annual shit. All you have to do is eat this. You get $50,000. You don't have to work."
I need $10,000 right about now. Maybe.
Said 10,000.
Who knows? I mean, maybe 50 sounds about right. I don't know. What is shit really?
What is it?
What is shit?
We're all actually. We're all made of shit.
We're all pieces of shit, human
Yeah.
beings.
How much to jerk a dick off?
Can I? Why are you asking me these fucking questions?
It was something that came up in the last episode. I guess Topps Tomato episode. I said 100,000.
I don't have any beer to chug, do I?
There is more high noons out there.
Actually, you know what? I want one of these.
There's a Jack. Can you give me a? You're drinking Jack. I'll do Jack too.
Yes.
I bring something new every episode. I used to do an IPA based off of every guest, but I got so fat. I wasn't working out, and I was drinking IPAs every week
On the podcast alone?
on the podcast, and I was getting so drunk because IPAs. Got 2 of those. Yeah. I don't understand how cans work. Half the time it gets on your chest, but IPAs were getting me so fucked up. Like
Really?
they'd be like 11% alcohol. You'd be chugging them.
Really?
Yeah, IPAs will fuck.
I
you
didn't
up.
know that.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your question?
How much to jerk off a dick? 100K. Could you do it for?
I could do it for 100K.
50K.
No.
75.
Maybe not to completion. I don't know.
See, I was based in Germany at one point, right?
Oh, you jerked up a lot of dicks for 50K in Germany?
I was making bank. No. So I went to Amsterdam for a weekend, and there you could go to a massage parlor and they would jerk you off, right? Now they said as soon as you walk in, hand jobs come with it, no sex. But when you get in there, the girl says no hand job unless you pay me, and you're like, your dick's already out, and she's already playing with it, right? So she's like €50 to jerk you off, so you just hand it to her. But what she does is before she like really jerks you off, she puts a glove on. So I was like, you can put a glove on, and you just don't even have to look. 50, I said 100K. I might go 75. Like, you're not even. And
Well, I'm glad to know your price. Let's move on.
it's okay.
Yes.
So you've actually sung with the Temptations before, yes?
Yes, recorded and performed on stage. Yes.
What was it like performing and singing with your idols?
Oh, it was a dream come true.
Like, was it an out of body experience where you were like, I'm so
absolutely.
nervous to do anything?
Absolutely. And it was very humbling and also a learning experience at the same time. Because so the first time I ever spent in a professional recording environment was with the Temptations. Before that, I was just doing stuff on my own.
Did it seem like, was it professional because they were there and they seemed normal and you were just nervous? Or was it that the way they record is more professional than the average record?
Both. They're great dudes. I mean, but let's be honest. Like since I recorded with them, they've had like 4 personnel changes.
Right.
Like they're not a group that can maintain a lineup for very long. So the group that I recorded with, to watch them, the first song I recorded for my project with them was a cover of their song called "Treat Her Like a Lady." And this is a song that they've been performing since 1984 in the various different lineups that they've had, but it's been a song that the group has consistently performed since 1984 when they recorded it. To watch them just rehearse their background vocals against the template of my lead vocals on the track that we're listening to in the control room, effortlessly, harmonies. amazing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, these are pros right here in front of me. I can learn so much.
So
It was crazy.
Did you walk in with an audio already recorded, or did you record with them in the room?
So the way that song happened was I went out to LA. I recorded my lead vocals on day 1. On day 2, the Temptations were there to record their backgrounds.
Okay, so you were they weren't there in the studio when you actually sung.
Otis was there to maintain preservation of the material,
right?
To let me know if I was fucking up or not.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like the next day, Ron Tyson and Terry Weeks and Willie Green, who were at that time 4/5 of the group, were there to sing background. The guy who was in the group at the time, Larry Braggs, was not invited to the recording session because he would normally sing lead on that song during the concerts, and he wasn't needed, so they just had the background vocals present, the other 4 Temptations there,
right,
to record their background vocals there. And they recorded their shit, man. Like, I think they recorded each background part 3 times just to stack up the thickness of the vocal. But they were all there, like, standing around 4 different microphones, singing their parts. And where it took me the better part of an afternoon into an evening to record my lead, it took them about an hour, if that, to record the background parts. It was insane.
So when you're in the studio, if I go to a studio and I'm watching another podcast or a musician perform, I have to pee all the time. I got to do all these things, right? Are you like too nervous to even move? Are you just kind of sitting there holding your knees?
It's funny. So during the recording of that same project, not so much the first session, but when I went back to LA, like a month later to record the rest of the project, they were serving like this tea in the studio to help me out. Like I needed, my voice was a little rough. Now my voice is fragile. I'll be the first to admit it. After a while of use, my voice will diminish. And so I was constantly drinking tea. So I peed. I had to go pee like every 10 minutes.
I pee all the time. Like,
dude,
I pee so often.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone knows that.
We learned that today. I'm telling the producer in the studio, like, I know I just peed 10 minutes ago. I gotta go. So I just went over. Like I was constantly exiting the studio, the booth, to go pee, it became a running gag during the whole weekend that we were recording. We recorded the entire project cumulatively in 3 days. Mm-hmm. It was insane.
Is this just one song?
And a whole day of that time spent peeing. Yes.
Yeah. So one song took 3 days. Is that how long?
So Treat It Like a Lady took 1 day on my part, and then an additional day for the Temptations to go do their part, but they didn't need a whole day. They needed like an hour and a half. And then I went home. I came back a month later to finish the project, the EP that we did, and I recorded 3 more songs over the course of 2 days, and that's lead and background vocals.
Were they nice or mean?
Ooh.
Or were the Temptations?
They were great.
None of them were mean? None of them were like, fucking white boy.
There was one guy, and I'm not going to name names, despite how much you asked me to do it, who he's an old school guy from Philly. He wasn't mean. In fact, he was actually very informative and helped me. He gave me a lot of suggestions on how to execute certain lines of vocalization. But he wasn't the warmest person in the room.
He spoke matter-of-factly, kind of?
Yes.
He was like, you need to do this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Instead of you should do this, he said you need to, kind of thing?
Pretty much like, do it like this.
Yeah, like you're not doing it right.
And that's up to him. If he's not a warm person, he's not a warm person. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's like, but he never was mean to me.
Right.
I'll say that. He wasn't ever mean.
He just wasn't the most open... Socially, yeah.
And I mean,
some people are like that.
He's in his 70s. He's been through the business his entire life. He's it's just he is what he is now is the outcome of what he's done, and that's I mean, when you get that many battle wounds, in this business, you're allowed to be that way. Mm. You are
absolutely,
and I respect him. Also, he's a dude from Philly.
Yeah,
we know who those guys are.
Are you performing tonight?
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to go with your level of drunkenness?
I mean, I got fucking, what time is it?
3 o'clock.
4 hours to get better.
Do you go home and sleep at all, this kind of thing, or? You just like.
Well, if I had more time, I would, but now I have no time. I got a gig tonight from 7 to 9. I'm doing a 2-hour concert in Washington Township. By the time y'all hear this, you're not going to be able to come.
It's going to be a month from now, maybe.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's Washington Township, Lake Park, something like that. So we're doing a 2-hour show there.
Do you already know your set? Like, do you already know the songs you're going to sing?
No.
You just show up and say, I want to sing this song?
Well, I mean, I'm not the leader of that band.
So you just do background vocals? Or
No. I sing lead, but there was like 3 or 4 of us who also sing lead. So, and it's one of the best gigs ever. This is a band that I just recently joined. I was in another band for a year and a half where I was the straight up front man for all 4 hours of a gig, and I'll tell you, nothing wears out a fragile voice than singing 95% of the songs each and every set. For 4 hours. Now I'm getting paid the same amount of money to do significantly less work, which is cool. I still get to go out there and do my thing. I still get paid. We book a lot of events from every public event that we do. We book like 2 or 3 private events, which is amazing. It's great, and it's so much more money. And it's like people who aren't doing this, if you're going to be in like the cover band game, if you're not doing shit like this, you're foolish. I got to be honest. Now, with that said, I'm still recording and releasing music of my own.
Right.
But in the interim, I'm not going to deny myself a right to eat.
Yeah. Weddings, you make. I had a wedding, so I know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. I didn't even get a band because crazy expensive.
Yeah, I don't even know what the asking price of my band is. I just know what I get paid individually, and you got to split that money 11 ways. So,
so are you looking for a relationship now? You said you want to get married. How are you trying to find somebody?
How am I trying to find somebody?
Hinge. You said Hinge earlier.
I've given up. To be honest, so the dating apps, Hinge, Tinder, all that stuff. That is just really just an avenue to ass in the interim.
Right.
I mean, you might be able to find somebody on those things. It's just that I don't view the apps as a way to find a bride. Mm-hmm. You know, I would much rather meet my future wife organically, and but I'm not going to deny myself sex while I'm waiting for that. So in the interim, I'll partake. But
so what is something that? So you're saying it's just for sex? Is because you met certain people there, and obviously that you've gotten a vibe from that. Most of these people on these apps have the same kind of vibe. What vibes turn you off right away to possibly wives? Like, are you like they're red flags kind of? Like
being dumb as doornails. That is a huge turnoff. There are some people, and I hate to say this because it sounds so crazy, but there are some people that you and I or anyone listening who will come across who fulfills one purpose in our life, and that's it. And that is a receptacle.
I mean, I did the dating apps between the whore, who I talk about, my ex, my now relationship. So there were girls that in between. I enjoyed, but there's some things that just turn me off right away. Like, it's not the money they make. It's kind of like how you were talking about, like the arrogance they have with how much money they make.
Right,
and
right.
When they talk down about people.
Right.
Right away.
I can't stand a bad person. I can't stand a mean person. I don't care how nice your ass is, how big your tits are, how flat your stomach. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I don't care how much plastic surgery you put in your face. If you're a mean person, die.
I don't like you.
I don't like you. And that's ultimately what I'm looking for is a intelligent, well-rounded, motivating force, as well as someone who I'm physically attracted to.
So if you were to make your Barbie for sex, this could also be your wife, but you're just making your Barbie. So you're at Build-A-Bear, making your Build-A-Bear sex bear. What do they look like?
Ebony.
Obviously a black girl. Go on.
Yeah.
Is it a certain skin tone?
Are we talking about sex or just relationships or all?
So somebody that... So this is just somebody you're gonna have sex with. This is your perfect mold of a sex person.
Oh, okay. So, that's much simpler. Huge ass, tiny waist, big tits, pretty face, black. That's it.
What tone do you have? Like a tone that you like? You like darker skin, lighter skin?
Just, not lighter than a certain point. That's all. Like light-skinned black women are gorgeous to me. Dark-skinned black women are gorgeous to me. I think I've actually appreciated the visage of more darker-skinned women.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? And to be honest with you, I tend to be really like infatuated with like African women. Island women with darker skin tones, with like
from like St. Thomas or Jamaica kind of girls,
something like that. Yeah, with the real they got the locks.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Like I love a nice dark skin tone. Sorry, I'm getting text messages.
It's all good. I got my pocket going crazy too. We're gonna wrap it up real soon here. So, do you want kids?
Yes.
How many kids do you want?
3.
I feel like a lot of people say 3.
Yeah, 4's too much. 2's too little.
So do you want how many girls and how many boys do you want?
I want all boys.
All boys?
If I can control that, like all boys, and I think it's all relative to who you are and what you're prepared to do. I'm not prepared to defend my daughter against all these other dicks that want to get inside of her in high school.
So many
and
dicks
stuff
want
like
to get
that.
at your daughter.
Nah, man, I know it's like, and I feel like if I was someone's father with any of the women that I've been with, I'd be like, oh, I would have like a gun in on my hip at all times. And it's because I know how karma works.
Yeah.
If I have a daughter, which probably will happen because of the way I've lived my life, I'm going to have dudes, guys, boys after my daughter the same way that I've been after these people's daughters my entire life.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but it's going to come back eventually to haunt both of us.
Right.
I moved to Germany when I was 18, 21 when I was Vegas when I was 21. So
Jesus, you're lucky. I wanted to move to Vegas, bro.
It was the best time of my life. I love being hot. I hate being cold. I hate living on the East Coast. Despise it. I live here now because I have a house.
Well, see, here's the difference. I love being cold. I hate being hot. Because I can always put on more layers and I can always dress up fancier. And I'm that guy. I like dressing up.
You'll
when
get
I
used
can.
to the heat, though. So I'm going to live...
I'm too skinny to wear regular T-shirts, dude. It looks like 2 broomsticks coming out of a cape.
You said probably medium on your shirt, which I thought was funny. Most black guys, by the way, are medium. Yeah. I thought everyone was extra large because I'm XL. But I've been wearing XL since I was a 32 waist. Like, I've always been XL.
Was that your skinniest, 32?
I mean, as a kid, I was probably skinnier.
When you did that fucking bullshit PT test in the Air Force and they measured your stomach circumference?
30...
What was
30 or 31?
What was the skinniest?
30 or 31, one of those.
27.
That's crazy.
And that's...
I like to wear baggy clothes, though. Like, no matter what, like, this is the tightest shirt I'll wear.
Okay.
I don't like to be constricted at all. I fucking move hands a lot.
You don't like to be constricted?
I don't.
It's not a fetish?
I don't like to be constricted.
Really? Okay, so how would you interpret my question about constriction in a sexual manner? What is constriction to you? And do you like it or not? I mean, you obviously you don't like it, but what about that don't you like?
So, if we're talking about tied up like this, I'm fine. This is okay.
You like being bound?
I don't like to, but I will be bound.
Okay.
But if my arms are by my side, I freak the fuck out.
Really?
I don't know why. Like, even like this, like if my arms are touched to my side, so say my girl wants to sleep, like she's sleeping next to me, right? And she comes like this, and I can't move my arm, or I'm like she's like leaning on my chest like this. Say she's here. My arm's constricted to my side. I freak out. I go, get off me.
Right. I have the same problem, but I have Asperger's, so it's a little different.
You have Asperger's?
Yeah, dude. I'm on the spectrum, like for real, crazy. I also have Tourette's, so I don't know if the listeners have been able to hear me blow air out of my nose the entire. Like I have this tick. My tick now is, and that's something I have involuntarily. So
I think I have it. My girl says I have Tourette's, kind of,
really?
Where I have to crack my bones and crack my shoulder.
Really? My tick used to be cracking my neck, and before that, it was flexing my abdomen muscles, and before that, it was snorting. In first grade, my first like really crazy Tourette's tick that ever caused me discomfiture was that kind of thing.
See, I met somebody in the military that did this with their shoulder. If you go back to my episodes, you'll see me do it all the time now.
Really?
I can't stop. I also crack my wrist, so I guess I kind of have like we don't have the audible one where we say dick.
We have tics.
Yeah,
Right.
ticks. She says I'm also OCD. I do things in threes that aren't noticeable to the average person. Like in my mind, though, I can categorize it as 3.
What do you mean? Give me an example of threes.
So right now I'm turning my chair. I have to do it 3 times. Left, right, left.
Did you just do it because you were going to bring it up?
No, well, yes, that I did. But in my brain, I do it all the time unconsciously where I just do things in threes.
No, you know, right. No, I usually have to fuck 3 women at a time.
Yeah.
That's my...
It's just how you get your dick hard.
It's how you do it.
Have you ever had a threesome?
No, I wish.
What's
Have
your
you?
biggest sexual fantasy? No, I haven't.
Threesome is at the top. Because I would love to have a double blowjob, I'm telling you. Just to start with. And then have, you know, the option of variety.
Do you think you could pull off a threesome? Sexually, I'm talking about, like performance-wise.
With the right medication, yeah.
Viagra should be a sponsor.
Right.
Yeah, I like obviously I'm in a relationship now, so I don't want to. But when I was growing up, I wrote this bucket list in middle school because I found out what a bucket list was. So I was like, oh, I want to have this bucket list. So I wrote
It's such a deep concept. It's hard to gather.
Yeah, so I wrote a bucket list out, and my mom found the bucket list. She said, "What is this?" I said, "Oh, that's my bucket list." She goes, "This says threesome." She's like, "What is that?" She knew what it was, obviously. I hope so. And I go, "Well, I want to have sex with 2 women at one time." And it was just like a bunch of different things.
Your mom saw this?
My mom found the list.
Oh,
I
that's
had
funny.
a drawer where I put all my things, which obviously is probably a big mistake because she can find it any time. But
Do you have a close relationship with your mother?
now I don't even talk to. I haven't talked to her in years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you have a close relationship with
I
your
do.
mother or
I do.
father?
I have a close relationship with both, but I feel like the strongest relationship I have with my parental figures is my mother.
Well, see, my mother kind of fucked over my father.
Okay.
So I've had that resentment for a long time.
Gotcha. I understand that part, yeah.
So she kind of, in my mind, correlates to the whore where they both have fucked over their husband.
That can't be... I'm sorry to get so deep here on this wonderful...
We get deep sometimes, even though you only watch the highlights and you don't know what actually happens on the show.
I can't... I can't imagine that it's comfortable for you to say that your mother correlates with the idea of whoredom.
Yeah, it's not, but I haven't talked to her in years. The other day I woke up, like my girl brought up my mom because she messaged her and then deleted the message.
Right.
So she was like, before I went to sleep, she's like, your mom messaged me and deleted it before I could read it. And I said, oh, okay. So I woke up the next day. I was like,
Wait, your mom messaged your girl and then deleted the message, like unsent it?
yes.
Okay, I got you.
I don't have Facebook, but yeah, that's apparently what happened. So I went to bed with the image of my mom in my head. And then I woke up and I said, I don't even remember what she looks like. It's been so long that I've seen her that I have no idea what she looks like.
Really? That's not a source of anguish for you at all? Or
No, I'm really good at cutting things off in my life.
okay.
Like, it's weird how good I am at it. There was somebody here, Lizzie, she's getting her master's in like some mental health thing, and she says I have like some kind of personality disorder, whatever. I don't care.
Right.
I'm able to cut people off real fast. Comes from when I was in the military. I went to Iraq as the only person from my base.
As a military person, it is quite easy to cut off contact with people because it was the nature of our job all the time. You make friends and then you PCS, which is another term for relocate.
Yeah, and
and then just not talk to people again.
Yeah, it doesn't bother my brain. But yeah, the fact that I didn't know what she looked like, and I was like, what the fuck does she look like? I had to go back in my brain. I was like, oh, that's crazy. I don't even know what my mom looks like.
There's like no pictures at all. So you completely blacked her out.
I do that with people. As soon as I can't trust somebody, blacked out from my memory.
Wow. That's a good skill to have in the right moments. I don't know if I could do that with my mother. Well, granted, my mom hasn't presented herself in that way that would warrant it. Mm-hmm. But yeah. No, I have a great relationship with my mom, though. My parents have been together for what seems like 137 years, which makes them like the oldest people living in the world today. Yeah, no, they're cool. I don't know what it's like. I'm not. I don't think I'm a mama's boy. Like I'm not like the stereotypical mama's boy who will like not do things because he'd rather do things with his mom. Mm-hmm. I mean, like hanging out or doing things. I don't mean like crazy, weird shit. No, I mean, like, my mom has been ever since I was a child, growing up on the spectrum, growing up with Tourette's and Asperger's and stuff like that, she has been my biggest supporter and enforcer in making sure that the school system treated me properly and making sure I got what I needed growing up. And that translates into adulthood, because there are things, especially being someone on the spectrum as I am, that the world is so ambiguous and vague and strange that there are some things that I can't process correctly. And the person I go to help me figure this shit out is my mother. Mm-hmm. You know? I love my mom to death.
Well, shout out to the good moms out there.
Yes.
So, is there anything you would like to promote, sir? There is.
Okay.
There's a camera right there in front of your face. Or there. Wherever you want to look, you can look there and promote whatever you would like to promote, sir.
We're done now?
We're wrapping it up, yeah.
What the fuck?
You want to talk about dicks more?
Let's talk about dicks more. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so what's the best dick you ever saw?
All right, so my podcast is called the Tri Jam Podcast. You can watch it as it airs, quote unquote, live on YouTube every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to be on my own show this week. So I'm wondering how my guys are going to do it. They have the option to do it without me. I wonder if they're going to take it. So there might be a show. There might not be a show this week.
If you want me to come in there and co-host or host, and
you know what? There will be a bald, bearded white guy shortage in the studio. If you want to come,
people, get Dan to host, and then we can see if we want to bring Dan into the idea of our podcast.
I need you to check out the episode that we did. It was the second before the last one that we did. It was called the Tri Jam Podcast. It was the multi-jam of madness or something like that, where each person who was in the studio that day actually took a turn at hosting the show. Okay. It was fucking hilarious.
I think it's the multiverse, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. It was.
I saw the promotion on Instagram, but I don't think I've watched the episode yet.
Check it out. It's actually my favorite episode from this season, because it happened because two out of the four main principals, including me, like Will and Shay called out that day. Stormy was coming. Dan and Kevin, my producers, were there. So we just did whatever the fuck we felt like. Our guest called out that day.
Yeah.
So I was like, what are we going to do for the show? So we just like, fuck it, we'll do whatever we want. Mm-hmm. And then that episode ensued and actually kind of set a precedent for us for trying to figure out, all right, how more creative can we be moving on in the future? So we're going to actually, our show, Tri Jam, is going to take a bit of a turn and err more towards the side of the creative, as opposed to the structured interview format. So it's just something that we've been doing forever. Our show kind of set a precedent when we first started, and then we've just been evolving over time into what best suits us and the time and the format that we're living in. So I think pretty soon things are going to change pretty dramatically. So Tri Jam Podcast is on YouTube, Facebook Live, and all of your podcast downloading streaming platforms. And my music, look me up, Kyle Maack, KYLEMAACK. There's 2 A's in Kyle Maack, just because whatever. And
is that how your real last name's spelled, or you just added there because there's 2 Kyle Maacks?
So when I was when I got signed at first, we decided that we were going to call me Kyle Maack. My real name is McCarty. My government name is McCarty. And the A&R guy for the label was like, McCarty's too Irish, or too ethnic or whatever. So let's shorten it up and make it more marketable. And it was like, how about Kyle Maack? I'm like, all right, cool. How are we going to spell it? MACK sounds like I'm trying too hard for me. I'm trying to be a Mac. You know,
okay, gotcha.
Like that ladies' man, And MAC is either noodles or makeup,
right.
And I didn't want to be that either. So I actually looked up some Celtic, because I'm Irish, spellings of the last name Mac, and found a version of the name which has 2 A's in it. And like, you know what? That's just enough to offset it from trying too hard. So there's that.
So my last name's actually call them forefathers. When I think my grandparents' father came over, or mother, whatever it was, my actual last name was like McFlattery or something like that.
Really?
But they changed it because
it's not Judge.
Now they changed it because they were coming here. Irish need not apply, right? So they couldn't get a job when they were Irish, so they changed the last name.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is that like a history lesson that I don't know?
You don't know that?
The Irish need not apply. I don't know that.
So when Irish people were first coming over here, they were like thought of less than people, so they were indentured servants. So they would just sign.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm not saying they were like slaves at all.
Off air, tell me this because no one's going to care about this on the air.
Okay, so they had to change their last name to be less Irish because Irish couldn't get jobs.
Okay.
They wanted to hire Irish people at that time.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was my lesson. All right.
Flattery? Is that what it is?
My girl remembers. I'm drunk right now, a little drunk. So McFlattery or McFlantery, one of those two. Can't remember. She knows. My girl knows everything. I don't remember anything.
Why does your girl know your history better than you?
I don't remember things. I told you I'm terrible. I'm the
my
worst.
name?
Kyle Maack.
All right. Well, what's my real last name? Exactly. Okay, cool.
McIntyre.
I just said it.
I told you. I have it on the keyboard. I can remember.
All right.
So I want to thank Kyle Maack for coming on. Dolce, I'm sorry that you got stung by a bee. Shit happens.
And Theo, what the fuck's your problem?
Yeah. Boo. Bee.
You just woke up
Just
on a
woke
Sunday?
up. It's fucking 3:23 and Theo's been up for 23 minutes. It's a sad story. I can't believe you don't know the Irish need not apply story.
I don't know. Oh, the show.
Yeah, show's over. Are we done? Thank you for watching that video on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe to this video, share it with your friends, follow us at LoveandThem1 on Instagram, and go to theloveandthem1.com. New full episodes every Tuesday, highlights throughout the week, and previews on Sundays, full audio every Monday.
What he said.